Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
We begin tonight with a developing story near Hawley, Minnesota. Police responded a short time ago to a vehicle crash that left 3 people with injuries. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Police say a 40-year-old man was in and out of consciousness and an 8-year-old had a large cut on his head. An 11-year-old boy also has some unknown injuries. We're told all 3 were taken to a hospital and they are expected to be okay. The State Patrol says a semi-truck made a turn into the left westbound lane on Highway 10, and that was near mile marker 26. The semi then tried to make a lane change, and that's when the pickup clipped the semi. It all happened just after 3 o'clock this afternoon.
There is extra large implement type traffic for farms, whether it's trucks, combines, harvesters, a tractor pulling a plow. I mean, this time of season, the local farmers, and obviously we're in a huge farming community, are really scrambling to get their work done before freeze up.
Officers are still investigating the crash. The driver of the semi was not hurt, but as always, stick with Valley News Live for updates on this developing story. A Grand Forks man has been charged with beating up his parents, and it appears to be another case of elder abuse. Court documents say 25-year-old Joseph Kuntz was upset with his parents for taking away his guns because of his substance abuse problem. Kuntz allegedly put his father, who suffers from COPD, in a stranglehold. Police say it's important that everyone reports any type of abuse they witness.
A lot of times abuse occurring within a family, it's very difficult for someone in that situation to actually report the abuse. There's a lot of dynamics in play. So if someone from the outside sees it, I think it's important for them to make that call and let someone intervene.
In the Grand Forks case of Joseph Kuntz, who's charged with beating up with his father, Kuntz has already had a criminal history of 2 other assaults. Quick action by a community service officer likely saved a man's life. It happened yesterday around 3:30 in the afternoon. A man was rescued from the Red River after being in the water for about 2 hours. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop has the story.
That was more excitement than I've had in a few weeks.
Moorhead Community Service Officer Cameron Cordes says he typically doesn't respond to things police officers do, like rescues.
Don't respond to the same level of calls as they do. Okay. I enforce city ordinances and low-level calls.
But Cordes says he was in the right place at the right time on Tuesday.
I just happened to be right in the area, and it was something that I realized I could help with.
Police say the 34-year-old man was walking along the shore where there was no path when he fell in. The current took him downstream about 20 feet, and he was able to grab onto a downed tree.
And he was in the water, clinging to the tree.
Cordes was able to pull the man safely to shore after jumping in himself.
He was really in a lot of pain from the cold. He was shivering very much, and I thought, well, waste no more time, let's just get him out.
The man told Cordes he was in the water for about 2 hours and even lost his jeans from the current.
His jeans that had snagged on a tree branch, it looked like. His shoes were still upstream on the riverbank.
Cordes says he didn't even think about the cold water when he was in it and doesn't consider himself a hero.
It's not something that I would consider because it's just something anybody would do.
In Moorhead, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The man was suffering from hypothermia and was taken to a hospital to be treated. Police want to remind you that it isn't illegal to swim in the river, but it is highly discouraged. Our Wednesday has been a little gray and awfully chilly. Well, anything going on tonight? Robert?
It looks like we'll have a cold night ahead of us as some of those clouds, many of those clouds will begin to clear on out, and that will allow temperatures to drop down into the 30s, perhaps even some upper 20s across the northern valley. Right now, it's certainly not a very warm one out there. Temperatures mostly in the 40s, 39, however, in Wadena, and 50 relative warm degrees down in Sisseton. We've got 45 here in Fargo, also 45 down in the Wahpeton, Breckenridge area. Winds, they've been a bit breezy today. They'll become light tonight and remain light as we head through your Thursday. There are the clouds. They're starting to thin out just a bit, and we'll see some partly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Enough breaks in the clouds to allow those temperatures to dip down into the 20s and the 30s. With those clouds around and no precipitation out there, none anticipated. As we head through the rest of the evening, those temperatures will continue to cool on off into the lower 40s by 8 o'clock And by 9 o'clock, right around 40 degrees and a cold one tonight. We do have a bit warmer weather on that 7-day forecast, and we'll detail that coming up in just a few minutes.
Awesome. Thanks, Robert. And as a reminder, you can stay up to date on the weather conditions where you are anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just download the Storm Team Weather app so you can get the latest weather conditions and even follow the radar live. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. Police in northwestern Minnesota are investigating the death of a hunter whose body was discovered in Marshall County. Deputies in Marshall County got a call about a pickup parked near Thief Lake Refuge and later found a boat capsized in the water. It's registered to 65-year-old Richard Sheik of Pequot Lakes. They found his body 100 yards away yesterday morning. Investigators believe Sheik was out hunting when some sort of accident happened, but they do not suspect foul play. His body was taken to Grand Forks for an autopsy. The North Dakota Highway Patrol has identified the victims in a car crash that killed 4 people near Newtown. They are Jasmine and Robert White Owl, Mario White Mountain, and Matthew Yellow Wolf. Dorothy White Owl was seriously hurt in that crash. All are from Managee, North Dakota. Troopers say they were killed when the driver of a car that failed to stop at an intersection east of Newtown Monday night. The 2 people in the other car were not hurt. Well, it's the final showdown and just a couple of hours away. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will take the stage tonight in Las Vegas in their last head-to-head opportunity. Our Washington Bureau's Peter Zampa is on the ground in Vegas with what we can expect.
We're here in the media center right next to the debate hall. Approaching go time, both campaigns are well aware of what they need to accomplish tonight, with voters hitting the polls in less than 3 weeks. Immigration, the national debt, fitness to be president. Who will have the right answers to Chris Wallace's questions? The American people on the edge of their seats for this final head-to-head matchup.
We think it's important to be positive for 2 reasons. Number one, in the closing weeks, we want to give voters something to be for, not just something to be against. And number two, if she's fortunate enough to win and be president, we're going to have to govern in a still divided country.
Brian Fallon is the national press secretary for Hillary Clinton. He says viewers can expect an uplifting tone from his candidate tonight, despite inevitable attacks from Donald Trump.
I don't think she's going to engage in those types of back and forths, even if he tries to provoke her. Donald Trump is somebody who is very easy to provoke, and you can quite easily get under his skin. She's not like that.
The Trump campaign says they'll continue to focus on the failed years of Hillary Clinton's career.
They want someone who's been in office 30 years, in politics 30 years, with no results, or a businessman who's had a lifetime of accomplishment and someone who can go to D.C. and get real results.
Ashley Bell is a Trump camp surrogate. He says the candidate will try to focus on policy, but you can bet there will be some drama.
If anyone who's not fair to Donald Trump, he's going to let you know you're not being fair, whether it's the media or not. Absolutely, many in the media have not given him a fair shake. Absolutely, he's going to call you out on it if it happens.
And now we wait for the fireworks. The big showdown coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern Time here in Sin City. Reporting at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, I'm Peter Zampa.
All right, thanks, Peter. We'll have much more on the debate tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and also at 10 at 10. Are you concerned about voter fraud? Well, nationwide, states are investigating claims of voter fraud and election rigging. That has people wondering, how can we be sure our vote will really count? And how do we know someone hasn't already voted in our name? We'll tell you about it all tonight on Valley News Live at 6. Today, the White House attempted to respond to the release of undercover videos by the group Project Veritas, action that showed Democratic operatives openly talking about how to rig elections. One of the men seen in the video has reportedly met with President Obama 47 times. A White House spokesman couldn't explain the meetings when asked about them. Meanwhile, the group released another video today showing an organizer openly talking about ways to have women bullied at Donald Trump rallies.
We want images of the men bullying the women who are trying to hold their signs up. That's what I'm going to do. That is what we're going to do. That is the hit.
If you'd like to see the full video, as well as our other reports on this subject, just go over to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. Today, WikiLeaks released a 12th set of emails from the account of Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta. In one email, Clinton aides discuss how they say the former Secretary of State, quote, may be so tainted she's really vulnerable on issues of government reform and public corruption. In another email, Clinton herself voiced support for a Republican lead vote that would begin, quote, the unraveling of Obamacare. Meanwhile, Ecuador's government has admitted it cut the internet access for Julian Assange. Now, the Ecuadorian embassy says it made the decision because WikiLeaks document releases are impacting the U.S. election. Assange's supporters believe the U.S. pressured Ecuadorian officials to cut access to the WikiLeaks founder. Smashing pumpkins this time of year is usually an act of vandalism, but that wasn't the case today for some Davies High School students. More than 70 students got the green light today to smash pumpkins as part of their physics class assignment. Students in physics and advanced physics designed and built slingshots and catapults out of wood, metal, and other materials to launch pumpkins for their lesson on projectile motion.
Lighter ones work better since you don't need as much force to launch it. And the more counterweight you have, the more tension on the bungees I have here, the farther the pumpkin will go. And I think one of the issues for this one is we didn't have enough force to launch the pumpkin.
This is the third year of the pumpkin launching activity at Davies. It's a perfect way to give a family a hot and healthy and easy meal. It's crock-pot cookie season here. Healthy cooking instructor Melissa Smith says it's a great option for families because crock-pot recipes usually cook with less oil and heavy creams. Also, if a meal is easy to throw in the crock-pot, families are less likely to go through a fast food restaurant. And it's not just for meals. Mulled apple cider can be made with juice, orange slices, and ginger for a healthy option.
Ginger is a fantastic ingredient, great for inflammation, great for stomach upset, so you can feel like you're kind of healthy with a little bit less sugar in your beverages.
For all of our recipes, go over to valleynewslive.com and look for this story. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook so that way you can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. The makers of America's beloved M&Ms are rolling out a new flavor. You might have to wait a little while to get it. That's still ahead tonight.
A lot of rain off to our south, even a little bit of snow to our southwest. For us, cloudy and cool. Tomorrow, one more cool day before we start to see a warm-up. How warm do we get? We'll let you know coming up right after this.